Antonio served other spirits since his youth. Even after getting married, his life goes from bad to worse.
Without me noticing, things were going in a different direction and ended up losing everything I had. Everything, my truck, my car, my dignity as well. And I began to think about my life, what was wrong in my life. And I remember that I bowed down on the floor and said, if there really is a God who created the heavens and the earth, I will not accept living in this misery. I want to change, and I will not accept my family's suffering. And from that day on, I did not go to serve other spirits.
With a lot of difficulties and the help of his family, Antonio acquires a piece of land that is almost unproductive. He then decides to build the house he was going to live in and dreams about starting a poultry farm.
It was a ranch in a bad state because there weren't even doors or any windows,
It was a field that no one gave value to, and they dreamed about starting a poultry farm.
In the beginning, we had 250 chickens. I would go to the wood shops to pick up the rest of the sawdust from the wood in their trash. I didn't have money to make the chicken coop. We lived here for almost 2 years without electricity.
I am very grateful to my neighbors because in those days, we couldn't afford anything to eat. My mother, she would come by and bring us some food. My mother-in-law, our neighbors would come by and give us some food as well. They brought milk for the children. We didn't have anything. There was nothing.
My mother would heat up the water in a wood oven, and then she would put it on a bucket that goes to the shower that we installed that didn't work.
It was one of those showers made of cans, and when it was cold, it was hard to take a shower.
We had very few clothes back then, and when we washed them in the sink, we put them to dry on top of the wood stove and ironed the clothes on the oven so we could dress the children.
When we finally got electricity, I installed the television, and that was the first time when I got to know. On the television, Dr. Suarez reading Malachi regarding our tithings and offerings, about going to church, right? And I learned more about God.
I started to go with him, and I enjoyed it.
Then I decided to sponsor, right? The faith show.
They all started serving the Lord and began to prosper until a fire burns down the house that they live in. However, God's protection for this family and their property touches Antonio's faith.
That was when I started to sponsor even more. I gave more offerings. In about 6 or 7 months, I had my house back up again without having any conditions or any money.
I read the book called How to Take Possession of the Blessing, Healing the Sick and Casting Out Demons. And I started to take possession as well. And today, thanks be to God, our lives have changed completely.
The blessings of the Lord are uncountable in this family's life. Today, when we ask him what is the size of the property that God gave them, he has to get a calculator to answer.
Summing up the construction, our house and the 2 houses down there, we have 2,310 square meters of construction. We have 32,000 chickens, and I have a great production. 5 poultries, right? And another integrated one. An egg deposit, which we call egg room, with an expedition, with the storing of all our packages. 2 trucks, 1 tractor, cars, plantations, 2 tractors with tractors. It's about 1,800 dozens of eggs per day.
My dream today is for my work to grow and to sponsor even more than we do, to help even more at the church.
This entire story began in the sponsorship, right? Because it was from then on that my life began to change, right? And God has been blessing us in a way that sometimes I'm still surprised by everything. The only way that we can honor God is through faithfulness. If you know how to honor him, God will never abandon you.
God blessed us, transformed us, healed us, delivered us. He transformed our lives.
Our God is such a wonderful God and a merciful God. He wants the best for us, and he will always give us the best.
This is the God I believe in, and I live for him.